Sensitivity is intelligence. With grace and skill, you have abundance. Welcome to the Psychic Hour. Host Kelly Brickel is a psychic medium healer, numerologist, and teacher. Her passions are learning about the soul and energy. Whether it's through spirit, emotion, or vibrational numbers, there's always a pathway of information waiting to help. Now, here is your host of the Psychic Hour, Kelly Brickel.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the last week of March. Welcome to the Psychic Hour. I hope everyone's doing well. This month has really sped by. This is our 5th show, and can you believe it's been, a full month? Where we started week 1 of March, and we're at week 5. It was a longer month, and we're already here. So onwards and upwards. Going into April, we have more wonderful people coming into the mix on the show. Today, we have Kim Copeland. She's a medium. She has 20 years experience as a hospice nurse, and she does a lot of other things and has a lot of other tools that I definitely will highlight while she's with us. We'll be talking about mediumship and her journey with hospice nursing. She has a lot of experience and stories and knowledge where she's seen people transition. She's seen people, have to really wrap their minds and their hearts around the concept of passing away, family, friends. And that is a very important and sometimes not always looked at side of mediumship, that you are helping people grieve. You're helping people to be okay with the understanding that their loved ones won't be with them in physical form, and really start to think about and conceptualize what that means for the individual. Everyone thinks something totally different when it comes to dying and death. A family cannot grieve the same, because everyone has different perspectives. Some people believe in the spirit world. Some people are agnostic. Some people are atheists. Some people believe in the divine and, love, but they're like, I'm not sure. This is it. After I see this person in this form, I probably might not never see them again. And some people who even believe the way that life continues, it's maybe a transference of energy. It's not a heaven experience. So how we individually grieve is entirely different based on our belief systems, based on our own understanding of the spirit world, or what God means to us, or even science, how we just connect to the human body's experience and how it transcends. It's a fascinating topic. I also will be talking with Kim about fear. Fear and dying go hand in hand, my goodness. And that's a topic that comes up a lot within mediumship. Our own personal fear, absolutely. But the fear of, missing out, the fear of not living our lives to the fullest. So there's so much fear that comes up in life. And that is really met with head on within our mediumship journey and our own mortality. They really go hand in hand. Mediumship is all about passing. Think about it. It's all about passing. It's all about what happens at the end of this. And that's why it's such a powerful experience. It heals, it quells, it answers doubts within people. It really opens up another avenue to life, because it continues. And again, I'll never, ever try to convince somebody. I only share my experiences. We're amalgamation of our experiences, and we can just do our best to share. And ultimately, I truly believe that an individual has to have their own experience. It doesn't have to be the exact experience you have, and it can be in a completely different category, but an individual needs to have their own experience where they go, aha, okay, I get it. I had a visceral feeling. I had a aha. I had an epiphany. I had an awakening. I get it. This means this to me, and it can't be taught in a book. It can't be taught by what someone is sharing with me. Okay. You should always share, I believe, because you will prep and prime somebody to be more accepting sometimes, or you can have them open their eyes. It's not because we're trying to persuade anyone, it's because we're just sharing something that's true. And sometimes the truest perspective isn't the most normal perspective. And if it's in our hearts, we have to speak up. We have to change the way that people see things around us. Not because we're forcing them, not because we're like, hey, you have to see it this way, because it's important, because it means something. Okay. And you will find others who understand the more you share. It doesn't have to be your family, it doesn't have to be specific friends. The more you share and be yourself, you will find people like, oh, I've had that exact experience. The reason why it's truth isn't because you have a singular experience. Sometimes that is the case, and we've gotta travel, and we gotta develop, and we have to go, okay, no one else is experiencing this. Like, I gotta be a pioneer here. If it's really, really true, you have to be a pioneer. But just the matter of fact is, if you come across something true, but maybe not completely widely accepted, I promise you other people are going to have the same experiences as you. It's just not being talked about. Okay. So, yeah, I just want to touch base on the concept of fear and not living our life to the fullest, as we're going to talk about that with Kim too, as well. And it's like, if you think about it, and I do like to just highlight this sometimes just to ignite fire beneath people or inspire people. Like, we're only here for an average of, you know, 80 to 100 years. Average life expectancy is lower than 80. So, 80 to 100 years is generous for a lot of people. And that's a mind-blowing concept to even think. Like, right? And it's a fearful thing to think sometimes, because we're like, where do I begin? Where do I end? Like, how do I even fathom that? Um, and and the thing is, life continues. My belief is life continues. But as I come to you as Kelly Brickel, right? As I come to you in this form as my name, as you seeing me, as me being here at this time on the planet in this location. There's other Kelly Brickels in the world, right? But there's only one that's me, and there's only one that's you, whatever your name is, right? Whoever you are. And I'll only have maybe 80 to 100 years or less. And so I have to live my life to the fullest. Yeah, I'll make smart financial decisions along the way, right? But, it's so different for everybody. I've known people who've passed that they lived their life to the fullest. And, their family was kind of like, wow, they're forever, a child at heart, right? And they just, with friends, with they were very generous. They were always going out, they're always celebrating, they're always partying. They only made it to 41, right? And people around this individual like still celebrate this individual, for the type of person that they were, because they definitely lived life to the fullest. They didn't hold back. In a lot of areas, they didn't hold back. And so when you look at it with that perspective, it's almost like, did that person know in some way that they wouldn't be around for that long? Who knows? But they put all their chips in, and it's like, wow, like, they did it, right? And it's kind of like, depending where we're living on our life, sometimes are we being too practical? Sometimes are we being too timid? Sometimes are we being too afraid? Um, And a lot of times I think the human race is afraid. All right. We're always processing information, whether it's past, present, or future. I mean that in the case of, we are the accumulation of our past, and we either are at peace with our past or we are healing and learning from our past. And sometimes if we're too much in past energy, um, we can have depression, right? And that can lead to fear too in itself. And sometimes if we are thinking about the future and we're like, oh, I don't know what's going to come, I'm not sure, I have a certain goal for me, right? I want to live a certain way. These are my dreams, but I don't know how to get there. Again, that's like a fear of the future, our anxiousness, because we don't know quite how to line up our future. Everything's not lining up maybe exactly the way we want it to. And that creates fear. Even when we are on our path, let's say we are present with our goals and our dreams to a certain extent, right? We wake up and we're like, okay, we'll see how this goes, right? And you kind of have to look fear in the face and just kind of do it. Yeah, like fear is a part of life. It really is. You can make a certain sense of peace with it, though, absolutely. But it's really about, we only have a certain amount of time as this current identity. I do believe the soul is eternal, but with the current identity I am, I want to know that, I didn't overthink things that weren't that big of a deal. Like, let's say you go, to a restaurant and you're like, $10 extra could buy you something you really want on the menu, right? Every once in a while, just do it, right? You might not ever be at that restaurant again. Same with like clothes. And sometimes spending more money is practical. Sometimes, clothes, you spend $50 more. I'm just talking about money for 2 seconds. Spend $50 more, and those shoes or that jacket is going to last you 5 years longer. It's like the way that we invest in ourselves, not only money-wise, but energetically, friendships, people. It's super common to have misunderstandings with people, even family members. And, we're only going to be here for a certain amount of time. Like, throw caution to the wind. If it could be a misunderstanding, and if you love them and you want them in your life, reach out to them, call them, see what happens. Like, you might get the reaffirmation of, this person is not right for you to have a friend at this time, or this family member isn't in a healthy place, so it's not a good fit. But you don't ever dream about what if. You have your answer, right? Or if there's someone that you have a connection to, whether it's romantically or you just want to make a friend and you're like, I don't know if that person's even going to like me, do it. The worst that's going to happen is you just kind of understand why that person said yes or no. And then you can make a more even tactical, decision, or even more heart-based decision from the information you learned. Like, life is just information being passed, waiting to be experienced. Life is waiting to be experienced. And just to continue to let go of fear, drift into love, and really follow the eternal rather than the limited. Our fear is so limited. It makes us so limited in return. So we'll be back. We'll be back with Kim Copeland. I'm really looking forward to talking to her. And we'll be taking questions on mediumship and bereavement and transitioning. Please join us. We'll be back.
A certified spiritual life coach, animal communicator, past life regression, and a psychic medium. This is Charlie Lynn. Charlie Lynn and Chat with Charlie work with you to bring communication and understanding from spirit to those looking to gain insight. Charlie Lynn's spiritual journey has brought her to you, so take advantage and contact Charlie Lynn today. Book a reading, indulge in some Reiki work, or take the next step in your life with some spiritual life coaching. No matter, Charlie Lynn is here to help you. Search Chat with Charlie on Facebook. That's Chat with Charlie on Facebook.
Hi everyone, welcome back. We are going to be having Kim come in now. Hey Kim,
Hello.
how you doing?
Good to see you.
Yeah, it's great to see
Thank
you.
you, Kelly.
Absolutely. Kim is an author, a medium. She's an energy healer, and she has over 20 years in the business as a hospice nurse, as one who is connected to others and energy. Thank you for being here, Kim.
Thank you, Kelly. Thanks for inviting me. What a wonderful, congratulations on this show too, that you're doing here.
Thank you. Yeah, you're wrapping up the first month. Thank you. Episode 5.
Awesome.
How are you today? How's the energy for you? And how's the energy for March? Are you feeling it?
Well, what would I say in March? It's been already fast. It's fast month already. Well, yes. Today I worked a little bit. It's windy here. I'm in Central Texas. It's very windy, and it seems to me like it's windier than usual for some reason compared to like last year. I don't know why, so I'm not sure what that's about. And I don't know. I've been having a wonderful day already. I did a reading with somebody, and I was blindfolded. I did a reading blindfolded. It was fun.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
That is fun. Those always make me nervous because I like to see. I get so inspired, even like looking around. Like spirit will make me look at like a corner of the room and it will inspire something. Or I'll look at, let's say, just a piece of paper on my desk and I'll be like, oh, like, right? I like looking around and I'm like, I don't know where to look.
It was an experiment today, and I actually enjoyed it. It was not the first time I've done it, but it was good.
It's a wonderful experience. Yeah, it makes you work a different way. I know that you are really connected to clairvoyance and clairaudience as well. We kind of talked a little bit once, and you've mentioned that you've had experiences where you've even heard the vibration of chakras, and you're really connected to color too. So
yeah.
Did it with blindfolding? Did it play up how you're able to hear?
Let's see here. Well, you know what? No, what I ended up doing was going a lot more in my mind's eye.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense.
And I couldn't hear. So the sitter was not able to talk either. I was totally in the dark, you know. So I had no effort, no feedback until the end. So all overall, I love the idea. I really love it. That you just because you're cutting, and I'm like you, Kelly. I take inspiration from what's around me in the room or wherever I am. But I just did it different, and it's good experience to try something different. But I know you guys were talking about the fear of think about that. I was a little bit afraid. Oh my gosh, right? But the fear of people dying.
Yeah.
You mentioned that.
I kind of I go, ooh, what's going on with your day? And then, we transition. And I think that's a perfect transition because I know that when I've done blindfold readings, it's kind of freaked me out, but it's about, this work, learning to trust ourselves and going into, past loved ones and bereavement. It's so much around fear. It's so much. Can you I guess invite us into this world and talk about how fear and dying and mediumship really kind of all go together just for a moment?
Sure, of course. Because yes, I have, like you said, have over 20 years experience as a hospice RN, and
Yes.
sitting at the bedside with people dying. So fear is a very big issue at the end of life because a lot of times it's not they're not they're afraid of what's on the other side, and they're also afraid of pain. Pain and how is my death going to be? That's a big fear. But a lot of people, not a lot, I would say, I'm going to say 20% are more afraid of what's on the other side. I would say the general population, what I see, they're okay. They feel okay, but it's that 20% that fear of what's on the other side held them way back. I had one lady, she was 104. She was
Wow.
starting to die. And she was so close. I mean, I saw the angels in the room. I saw somebody at the end of her bed wearing a suit. When the departed loved ones start wearing a suit into formal attire, I know they're going to pass within 24 hours. It's just what they do. They change their clothes. Um, so anyway, so she was so close, and then she decided to turn around and come back. She didn't go. And when she came back, she said, I was afraid to see the man at the end of my bed. And, but it was more about what she did to him, not what he did to her. So she had not forgiven herself. It was probably nothing, honestly. I mean, no big, I mean, but she hadn't forgiven herself. She wasn't ready to see him. So she came back and she stayed another week. And then
Wow.
when she started to die again, he wasn't there. So the spirit world knew, okay, he can't be there. So she's not going to die with him there. So let's just have the angels. So the angels were there. There was like three angels around her, big white angels, but he wasn't there anymore.
Wow. So can you describe too what is the difference that you see and feel when angels are supporting in the room versus loved ones?
Okay, sure. Yeah, I mean, usually there's usually both are there at the bedside. Um, so angels, to me, I see them now. I know they may or may not have wings in reality, but I usually do see them with wings if I see the bigger ones. But now I will say it's not always that can't be exactly true, because one time I saw Archangel Azrael, who's known as the angel of death, did not come in with wings. Archangel Azrael was a big purple fuzzy blanket feel, and huge. Like if I said a mountain, it could have been he could have been as big as a mountain. That's how he was so big, you know. But he couldn't have been as big as a mountain because he was in the room, right? And but he just felt that's how his energy was that big.
Yeah.
But he did not have wings, and I wasn't even sure who it was. And next to him were two other smaller ones that are green. I would say green fuzzy blankets. Now Azrael felt like I'm making sure she's not going to take a wrong turn. It was very powerful and also encouraging and joy. That's how I felt like Azrael was. And there is no way. And he was in at the head of a bed. She was about 42 years old. This woman. She had the disease, mad cow disease,
Oh my
and she
gosh.
had 5 children. She did not want to go. She was going to leave 5 children.
Yeah.
And so she was kind of afraid, but it turns out she had so many spirit helpers. Now, interestingly, on that situation, I didn't see departed loved ones. I just saw these big angels. So I'm not sure why. I more often will see departed loved ones. I see both though, and sometimes the angels show up as little like lights, like sparkles, like white lights. Like if I stand at the foot of the bed, stand back a bit, and I look on the wall, I see the angel, I call it the angel lights. And so so I see more lights, and then with departed loved ones, I see more human-like forms, or feel the human-like forms, or um and of course, as a hospice nurse, I'm not always free to say what I feel. I might just say something like, or I might just inquire, how um, are his parents passed? Or what was his relationship with his parents, or something like that, and then get it some information about them, because then I'll kind of confirm to the spirit world, okay, I know you're here, I know who's here, um, and if there is an occasional time where the family will kind of know that they know that the spirit family's there, and then I can talk more open about it.
A lot of people that I've talked to when their loved ones are reaching the end of their lives, they and what I've observed in my own life too, when someone is close to passing, whether it's a month or a week or a couple of days, they start looking all around the room.
Uh-huh.
Can you tell me your experience with that, with people who are about to pass? Do some people know that there are others standing in the room and talk about it freely and actively with you? And are there some people that are confused what's happening because they're able to see things?
Hmm. Okay. Well, that's very common. You are absolutely right, Kelly. Very common. I'd say almost everybody starts seeing the other side before they get there. Okay. But sometimes some people will absolutely can talk to me and to the angels at the same time. And they're like, well, don't you see the thousand angels? There's thousands of them. Don't you see them? They'll be like that. Or they'll say, well, last night I dreamed about my husband. We went dancing, and we had a party. And so that the husband, hey, Colleen Butcher.
Hi, Colleen.
When we had a party last night, and so that they actually saw them. They actually did get together and go dancing. It wasn't just a dream. And so yes, it goes both ways. I see so common, when they're very in, I'd say the last few days of life, a lot of people aren't talking, so they don't express it very well, but they will look, and I call it looking at, it's the angel show. Watching the angel show, they're like, just like this, and then, or they're look through by you, past you, and they're looking at somebody else. And sometimes they'll say, well, who is that girl with you? They'll say that. Or who is that person with you? That's so common. Or they start reaching. Oh, especially really the last few minutes.
Wow.
People,
Wow.
family members tell me all the time, well, they just started reaching up. Or like I had one lady, um, she started hugging people in the spirit world and kissing like this and hugging people. Yeah. Hey, Marie. How you doing, dear?
It's so interactive. Hello, Marie. Let's
We
see. She
have
said, "My
also Yika and Joe.
Yes, Yika and Joe. Hello. Hello, everyone. Marie says, my sister used to have conversations with the other side and was in good spirits when she would pop back and continue to talk to me. So it's really healing energy. A lot of people start calming down a lot towards the end of their life. And do you believe it's all because of the extreme support from the spirit world?
Did they calm down?
Yeah.
Well, maybe.
Oh
Yeah, I
no,
mean, they
tell
can.
me. Yeah, tell me. I'd love your perspective on that, because yeah, you have seen so many different people. So many the little spectrum I have is, I'm like, oh, I've noticed people have kind of calmed down if they had, let's say, volatile personalities, or they had a lot of
Oh,
worry or stress. It was almost
oh
like
yeah.
they calmed down and they just started observing, and they were able to have conversations if they could talk, or if they would just be more peaceful. But you're right, you've seen it all. Please
Yeah.
share.
Okay, well, when somebody, when now I this is perspective from hospice, right? So I can't say people who have a traumatic death or whatever. But when somebody is knowing that they only have so much longer to live, that in itself is the start to, oh, better start living right. I better start making amends. I better start fixing it. Whatever relationships I haven't seen my granddaughter in, 40 years. I'm going to try to fix that before I go. I see that a lot. Um, and then also though, so I see it also opposite. Well, I may say opposite. At the very end, some people get more agitated. And I think that agitation, and it's called premorbid agitation,
Mm.
and that's related to not knowing how to get there, not knowing this. So the body's like, okay, I know I'm going somewhere. I know the train is coming, damn it. And they get very like, I don't know how to do it. So there's that. And this the anxiety, agitation that happens sometimes. Also, though, when they have met people in the spirit world, and yes, that can be very comforting. Yes, I'm going to be that, and I'm getting the chills as I say that now. So, so those people that can say, okay, I've met my mom. I know she's going to be there for me. I'm not going to be in some unknown territory. I'm going to have help when I cross over. I'm going to be met by loved ones. Those people are comforted when they see them ahead of time. And almost everybody does. And that's called near death awareness. So as they get closer to death, and they are more aware of the other side. Um, and then as family members, I like to encourage family members to be part of that and to also share. Let's say you're holding hands, or you're just being present with somebody who's nearing death. Know that you too can merge into their space, move your consciousness with their consciousness, and kind of see where they are. See what's going on in their world. See, cross over a bit and see what's happening on the other side. You know?
Yeah, you can start to experience things a little bit differently with the energy in
Hmm.
the room. I can only imagine. You just kind of have to sit with them and take it in. Um, it's within my life, I haven't had a lot of opportunity to sit with people when they've been really close. I've just a handful of times, right? And it's such a different energy in the room.
Yes. Oh, yeah, it's palpable. You
Yes.
walk in, there's angels galore. I actually feel like even as we're talking about it, we're calling in the angels who come around the death time. Um, some of the one of the common ones I see is Mother Mary. If the family has a particular person that they talk to, whether it's Mary or Jesus, again, what's our perception of comfort. So they bring those beings in, even though perhaps we are really we're all connected equally to every single type of entity, but it's just that vision of that particular saint brings them comfort. So that's what comes in, and it's very palpable. You walk in, and man, there's Mother Mary right there.
So they welcome Mother Mary into the room out
Yeah,
of anyone that could come to comfort them. They welcome her.
yeah.
That's
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 that's a
beautiful.
common. It's very common, yeah, for her or
Wow.
Jesus.
So may I ask too, because I don't have a lot of experience with that either. Does let's say Jesus or Mother Mary, did they have a different vibration than an angel and a past loved one? How do they feel?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay. And every once in a while, it's a little bit hard. I see colors. So first of all, I see, then I feel the energy. And so I would say Mary, I usually see a blue robe, a light blue robe. And it's a ah, gosh, it feels motherly. I mean, I don't know how to explain it. It's unconditional love, really. But it's a gentleness, it's a gracefulness that I feel with her. So it's just a feeling, and it's just so gentle and kind. And one of the things I just felt today from her is that we need to be kind to ourselves. And I feel like she's always kind, but she tells us to be kind to ourselves. So make sure we do that. So that's how she feels to me. She's also feels tall, not tall, 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 but I mean on the taller side.
Yeah.
And okay, Jesus feels. I see white, sometimes in gold, and Let's see here. It's funny because I get Mother Mary on my right, and I often get Jesus on my left. I don't have no idea why that is, but that's just the way um, and he also feels it's like unconditional love. Yeah. Um, and each angel, of course, has a different feeling too. It departed loved ones, I see, and they just look like humans to me.
Yeah,
But I can feel if it's a mother, a father, so when they're in the room, or sister or aunt, I kind of can feel who's there. I don't know why. It's just a feeling. Oh, that's an aunt. Oh, that's a mother.
for sure. Yeah, everything has a certain feeling to it. Absolutely. And it's interesting because usually spirits with bigger energy sometimes do feel taller. So it's
Uh-huh.
interesting that Jesus and Mary do feel taller too. I'm like, oh, that makes sense. That makes sense. Um,
Yeah. Yeah.
oh wow. Okay. So I want to say, Yeka too says this is crazy. She means it in a good way because my aunt prior to passing saw a man and was afraid of him. A week later, she passed peacefully. Maybe she wasn't
Oh.
ready then. That was the story that you referenced prior.
Oh, yeah. That
So
makes
she's
so much sense, Yika. And as you were just reading that, Kelly. Yeah, that I'm getting chills. And she's here. Your aunt. I know. I feel her presence as we're talking. By the way, because you wrote her name down there, I just feel that she's here. Yeah, she feels like a character to me. But okay, I'm sorry. Okay.
no, hey, please.
Yeah, I just feel her. She's listening to this.
I thought, what would you feel? Yeah, there's definitely like a lot of really gentle, beautiful energy like around right now. And it does remind me of that space that, I've only had a few times in. So a lot of angels are supporting this broadcast right now. You're bringing them in, Kim.
Do you feel it? Do you feel the angels in this broadcast?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. It's a different feeling. It's remember how I talked about that word calm? I guess because that was just the most palpable feeling. It makes you very calm, right? It gives you like this kind of open minded sensation inside your head, the way that you think, the way that you formulate words. It's very supportive and it's very loving. That's my personal definition. But yeah, there's a lot of white energy, like
I feel that
in
too
the
right
air.
now. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm with you on that. So everyone kind of feels it a little bit or describes it a little differently. I have a very mental experience with it too. I'm like, I don't know if anyone would relate to the mental part, but the feeling part, maybe. But excellent. No, seriously, thank you. I wanted to ask you too. We'll come back to this because I have so many more questions regarding your experiences because I think they're so insightful. I want to know how you got into being a hospice nurse. What led you down that path, and then through that, how that transitioned into mediumship, or maybe they were always connected. I want to learn about you.
Okay, thank you, Kelly. So,
Absolutely.
I was a home care nurse first, but I've been metaphysical. Probably I had interest all my life. My family was one side of my family, I'll say, was metaphysical. And the other side was Catholic. But I'm going to still put them together. Anyway, so, oh, I don't know. I was just doing home care nursing, and I saw in hospice that they had dog therapy, pet therapy. And so I thought, and they offered music, art, Reiki, they, had massage, acupuncture. It was a whole person healing. So that's what attracted me. And I had already been studying healing touch. I'd already had my massage license. I'd been studying shamanism. I'd been studying psychic development by that time. And so that's what brought me into my interest in hospice. When I saw that they had all of those modalities as a healing, then that's why I decided to move toward hospice. And it's been a long time. That was 1998, long time ago.
Wow. So
Yeah.
you have even more experience in nursing than just hospice because you started as
Uh-huh.
home care.
Not a
Wow.
whole, yeah. Hmm.
But still.
Uh-huh.
um, so when you first came to being a hospice nurse, like, let's say your first week on the job, how did it go?
Loved it. Loved it. I had the best manager. I mean, even during the interview, we hugged each other. It was like that. It's just that how warm and wonderful she gave me. I still remember my very first two patients. Bill, he was 32 years old. He had cancer in his leg. He was a vet. Anyway, from him, I learned. So he saw departed loved one, or he saw people. We don't know who at night, and he would walk and light a candle at the kitchen table and talk to unseen others. When I say unseen, his parents were watching him do this because they came to live with him to take care of him when he was in the hospice. So anyway, they said, well, every night he's going to talk to these people, but we just let him do it. And they thought he was like sleepwalking or something, and then go
Interesting.
back to bed. And so that was my first, like, oh well, there's the angels or whoever they're talking to. Yes. It was so no, I loved, oh my gosh, it was wonderful. I also got to right away, I had the best place to work. This was in Colorado Springs called Pikes Peak Hospice. Um, they let me do shamanism with my hospice patients.
Wow.
So I got to drum for patients who had a lot of anxiety so they could go across the veil with the drum, beat of the drum, which causes your brain to go from the beta to alpha to delta to the theta, right? So that you can go into meditative state and in with your mind, your consciousness, you go across the veil and you see the other side.
That-
Now, that was so awesome too. I mean, I just had the best place to work. So when I got to do that, of course, I felt very lucky um, that I helped people cross over before their time, so their anxiety could go down, and everybody felt better after that. Yes,
Yeah, wow. So even people who are having difficulty, you could bring in the healing and the drums. And it was like if somebody was anxious and stressed, they would kind of bring you in, I would imagine.
yes, yes. I had to have a big conference with everybody to tell them what I was doing, and the chaplains and the social workers, and yeah, it wasn't like, oh yeah, you just go ahead and do that. No, I had to explain to everybody what I was doing.
Because I mean, there's like a scientific aspect to it, as
Mhm.
well as like spiritual and healing aspect to it. I mean, you're talking about brain waves, like you're helping them
Right. Oh
relax.
yeah, yeah. That's
Absolutely.
right.
So I'm sure it was received well.
The patients liked it a lot. Yes. Yeah.
What else did you start to incorporate that you understood could help people transition and calm down?
Okay. Yeah. Good. Good question. Well, I healing touch. At that point, I had been studying just healing touch. There's a few different modalities of healing touch, um, and so what I did for pain. Now, actually, I did this in home care as well before hospice. I would use hands-on healing uh, and to work with pain and to help um, uh, relieve pain, to move pain away. So I did that. I also now in hospice more and more. I will energy clear and chakra clear the field. And what for me, when I do a chakra clearing, and if somebody's having a hard time dying, especially, then I really find out what's going on. I can use my hand to feel. So my hands is like little vision sort of. Well, it's kind of like psychometry in a way when you feel the chakra.
Yeah,
And then you pick up energy, you get visions and all. So could feel what's going on. Why are they or still hanging on?
that's really beautifully put.
Yeah.
I guess I've never thought of the body as like just a giant tool of psychometry, but you're absolutely right. That's a really cool way to put it. Like, wow, okay, so you're able to get in touch with them even deeper and really take away. I would imagine, multiple layers of their pain. And
Uh-huh.
they're very, I guess, receptive or um, trusting because of that.
Yeah, it's some pain is pretty hard to get. Cancer pain, to me, is hard. Chest pain is easy for me. I mean, I don't know. Wound pain I find is easy. Chest pain I find is easy. I mean, I would never suggest anybody to just totally go with it. I feel like you need to combine the two, the Western and the Eastern, to, you know what I mean? To
Yes, yes,
combine both. So what I found challenging is if I'm really big into doing energy work and then somebody else is totally anti, and it's hard to sometimes blend the two when I would like to do more of.
yes.
So that was a little bit, I mean, it still can tend to be hard. Yeah.
I guess, like, I think about people sometimes and their pain, and we talked about fear, or they can't relax because they're in such deep pain. It could be physical or it could
Right,
be
right, right.
emotional.
Yeah.
Um, and really, for people just to let go and to feel like they can just relax, if you can provide an experience, whether it's through the shamanism with the drumming or other techniques or the healing touch, like,
Yep.
people must feel so loved and supported by your skills.
Well, that's the goal, you know?
It is the goal. It sounds like it's been accomplished many times. I want to give you credit. Um,
Yeah, yeah.
can,
To me, coming in with being in the heart and being it and feeling like it's all going to be okay is bigger than anything. What doesn't matter what you've got in your tool bag for your skills, but the idea that you are there to bring calm, peace, confidence that it's going to be okay, I think that's even bigger. You see, and I truly believe medicines work too. You know?
yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
there's many, like, seriously, we can't deny one or the other. If
Mhm.
it helps, it helps. I want to
Mhm.
give you more validation too. So, um, Yeka said, regarding her aunt, she's like, she was a character, a big one. Can you speak to
Yeah.
loved ones visiting other loved ones after they passed in very vivid dreams and encounters? Okay, she's wondering about if we can communicate to our loved ones during our dreams. And then she said, I mean, within hours of passing. Oh,
Yeah.
that's a great question, especially in hospice or palliative care, where
Mhm.
sometimes people didn't get to visit or didn't get to say goodbye. Great
Yeah.
question.
Oh, I love that. Yeah, thank you, Yika. Yika, if I'm saying that right. Um, well, so from my experience, it's so, oh my gosh, what a joy it is to have a visit from a beloved just hours or within the minutes after passing, because it's very common they do it. They are the most present, the most close, and they feel the most like a human. I would say the first 3 days to the first 3 months. Okay, so they're much easier to see objectively, by your loved ones still there, still sitting in that chair. Yes, they are there. They do it. Hey, loco. Um,
Hey, Loco Lolo, I like that
yeah,
name.
yeah. So also, it's people. I know. And now this is my experience. Some people say, "Well, you can't talk to somebody till they've, gone, maybe 6 months after." Well, in my experience, as a nurse that I'm there at the bedside during the passing, they are I can talk, well, I mean, I say, is it talking? I feel like it is. When somebody's in a coma, I can blend with that spirit and get lots of stories. And I can tell the family, okay, I feel like this is what they're telling me. They're reminding me about the dog. They're reminding me about this and that and this memory and that memory. And the family will confirm, yes, even though that person's in a coma and has not passed yet. And then when they pass, I mean, it's like it's such a blend. I mean, that's why we call it a transition. It's not just all of a sudden, okay, then you got to, oh, is it a linear that we got to wait a certain amount of time? It just, maybe it's different for everybody, but my experience is usually right away. Now, every once in a while, I'll get somebody like, where did they go? like they have gone, like
Yeah.
nowhere, but oftentimes they're right there still. Their energy is very present.
They're just like, I went this way for a moment because I can go anywhere.
Yeah, I remember once I was in a hospital room and somebody had passed. Now, she didn't have any family with her. There was no reason for her to hang around. So her
Wow.
spirit was like totally gone.
Wow. I'm out.
Yep.
That is so interesting how then quick it can be if there's no pull, there's no tie, there's no meaning to stay. And please let me know your experience with this. With Yeka too, I kind of want to talk for a moment about so many people have dreams of their loved ones
Yeah.
around the time that they pass, either
Yes.
right before they leave their body or right as it's happening or
Yeah.
the night of, right?
Yeah.
Um, like my husband, he's really open to this work. He doesn't do this work, but he's really open to this work and he's very sensitive. And when my grandma passed away, I actually was trying to get there to be with her around that time, but she passed earlier than expected. So I was like, oh God, that was something. And I didn't know the time that she was going to pass, but we knew that she was getting close because I got, a call, let's say, just in the middle of the morning, right? So we went back to sleep because it was very, very early in the morning. And as we were sleeping, my husband had a dream of my grandmother, and she was like basically saying hi, and he saw her go from, because she was in her late 80s, transition downwards into a woman in her 20s. And then she just
Awesome.
kind of like left with a smile. And
Oh my gosh, that's beautiful.
it is beautiful. And I'm like, oh, that's so amazing. And
Yeah.
many years ago, too, when my husband's uncle passed away, the night he passed away, I had a dream about him. Like, his face in a picture showed up when he was younger, and he was like giving me, all this like energetic feeling. And he's like, hi, and, tell everyone hi for me. So if we've, always had some type of experience, but we don't know how it's going to come because he might get it, I might get it, right? Yeah, please share how you've experienced that personally or what you've heard from other people regarding their loved ones and dreams and how they tell them they're okay.
Yeah, it's awesome. I mean, really, it's a wonderful thing that we can, as humans, still here on Earth, can receive information in our dream state. And I think the reason we do it in our dream state so often is because we're in the most yin, the most receptive mode. And our dream times usually are in the early morning, which is a very receptive time of day. So that's a great time for them to come talk to us. And they want to. The spirit world wants us to know they're okay. So, yes, it's very common. I love to hear stories like that. I know personally my dad, um, this was like 6 months before he passed, though. I had a vision of him. He was wearing a black cowboy shirt, black. I'm not sure if that was symbol, must be a symbol, right? And then all of a sudden I saw him just kind of just like just kind of blow away like that. And I had a feeling that, oh, and I thought, oh, he's going to die. And it was 6 months later he died, and he didn't even know he had cancer yet.
Wow. Wow.
But the thing that people tell me I hear so much is that yeah, they get visits, and some people get more visits than others. And then what some people say, well, how come I didn't get a visit, but my brother got a visit and I didn't, right?
Very random.
It's
Very
not.
random.
It's yeah, it's I think it's just the way we receive information from the spirit world. The
That
spirit world's
too.
trying to get to everybody. They'll do whatever avenue. It could be the person that they got through is the one that's better with the dreams for some reason.
Absolutely. Everyone has different skills and they're going to just be ready to hear that or they're able to hear that. And so you might have one family member that is more predominant in that or a
Yeah.
friend. Joe says as well, my mom and nephew have visited me many times. And that's amazing. I get So, for instance, and tell me how you are, Kim. I get loved ones coming to me right before I sleep. So I'm like in and out, like about to drift off. But I usually don't get dreams where loved ones are saying hi to me. I'll get dreams for different things. Like it's like more psychic related. And, it changes too. But how about you? How do you have a relationship with your dreams, and how has spirit come into yours?
Yeah, well, thank you. And again, this just reinforces the idea that we all receive spirit differently. Some people may want to they may want to write a letter from their loved one if they're not getting dreams and they're wanting to get a dream. I would suggest they get a pen and paper and they say, "Dear Aunt Betty, what would you like me to know today?" And just pretend you're talking to Aunt Betty and let Aunt Betty kind of give you messages through your pen. So maybe that's how you get messages. So don't feel, oh my gosh, I didn't. But personally, um, let's see here. I mean, it's happened on occasion. I feel my family different reasons. By the way, I'm hearing a lot of feedback. A lot of
Oh,
feedback.
yeah.
I don't know.
We'll double check with that, and thank you for the heads up.
Okay, okay. Yeah, I think that's better. I think. Okay. Um, so let's see. What else can we say about that? Personally, yeah, I sometimes have dreams, but it's not that common for me about the dreams of my departed loved ones. I just feel them more in my everyday. Now, I will say my mother, though, who, she died when I was 12. And so, we had our short time together on earth. And I feel like this happens with kids too. When kids die before their parents, let's say they die, under age 20, um, I often see those people with the parents. Like, I'm just let them know I'm here. I'm here. It's like tapping me on the shoulder. I'm here. I'm here. I'm here. And I feel like that's how my mom is. Like, I'm here. I'm here. Like, and she even came in yesterday. It's all done. It's you don't need to do any more healing. It's already done. Um, and so, but I feel her a lot now. She has told me as a that I get a message from her that she is a party planner on the other side, and so as I'm here on this side helping people cross over, she is on the other side helping them, just as a party planner, just the organizer, helping them organize. So oh wait, you're on mute though.
You're right. She's helping to provide an even further. You're both providing, working together to create the most pleasant transitional experience. That's so cool.
Yes, yes, I feel her a lot. I'm sure she's listening right now. And with my family, when I'm it's harder to talk, I think, anyway, just to have to be a medium for yourself. It's a little easier to be a medium for other people. But what I find is if I'm doing something totally different, like if I'm walking, then I'm going to hear my family more.
Yeah, yeah. We can't be like so focused on it.
Yes, yes. Marie saying, I smelled my sister's perfume for 3 days. Yes, see, 3 days. There is a thing about the 3 days. And now you see her through dreams. Awesome.
What? Tell
Um,
about the 3 days. I'm curious.
Okay, because it's such a common thing in so many cultures. The Buddhist
Ah,
culture, where they come together for 3 days and do the chanting. Even elephants, you've seen this with elephants, that the man who helped the elephants in Africa, I think one day he ran into, it was the leader, the matriarch of the group, and he came to eye, and because she was about to cross over, in the area that she was going to cross over was where she could get killed, and so they stopped, looked at each other, and he told her, "Don't come here because you'll get killed." And then they just had this relationship, and then she kept the family away. She knew what to do, and when that man died, the elephants were not near his house. When that man died, she brought the elephants of her tribe back, and they circled the house for 3 days. There is something about 3 days. It's a 3-day thing. I don't know. That's why I tell people don't get cremated before 3 days. I don't know. I mean, wait
interesting.
three
I like
days.
that.
Wait 3 days.
Do you feel like the spirit world is checking in on all the loved ones, the friends, the acquaintances, like kind of paying their respects for 3 days, or what happens in those 3 days? Because I wonder. I'm like, oh, are they just popping back to Earth a lot, just checking if everyone's okay, giving them love, giving them insurance? Um,
Yeah, and I don't know exactly. Honestly, Kelly, I can't tell you the whole answer on that, but there's something about this 3 days for total transition. I feel like it's like totally
yeah,
to
yeah.
transition to like there might be strings because even when we take our last breath,
Hmm.
that does that mean we're totally out of the body? I mean, even before that last breath, we are a lot times in the spirit world already.
Yeah.
You see, it's not just like that. It's there's a transition. That's why for some reason I guess the 3 days is magic. Maybe that's how long it takes to get all the strings. I don't know exactly.
I think you're right. That makes sense.
Mhm.
Like even as you say it, I'm kind of understanding it on a different level. I don't know if this will give any perspective, but so I do like Reiki work, for instance, and when I'm working with people, everyone always talks about how the energy after the healing stays with them for 3 days and it starts trailing off. Or I'll let them
Oh,
know, and they're like, you know what, that makes sense because this and this happened, or certain things will happen, right? And it's in those 3 days, and then it just trails off gently. There's something about the way that energy changes and transitions. You're right. There's something about those 3 days. And
yes,
I
yes.
love how you mentioned the strings. Can you tell people about that?
It's just my in my mind's eye, the way I see this, it's like when we're starting to die, we have to let go. It's like we have attachments, right? The attachments to our house, our pets, our children, our car, whatever it is, our jewelry, you know, these attachments that we think are so important. And we have to decide to let those go. And I feel like it's a piece at a piece at a piece. And so when you finally maybe have that last breath, and maybe there's still little I just see it as silvery light. I see silvery strings, and I don't know, that's in my mind's eye. I have no idea if I'm right. I
Well,
that's
you
just
heard about the silver cord, right? That
yes. Yeah.
that correlates. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. That's how I see it. Now, one time I will say I was with a lady. She had passed about maybe 30 minutes before I got there. And the family wanted to they wanted me to help change her clothes and all this. Well, as we were doing it, the family said, I think they were talking. It was like sisters or sister-in-law. And they said, how long were they married? Because the husband was in the other room. And the sisters were saying, how long were they married? And then I heard the lady who died, and I saw on her face, and I could barely see her lips move, 17 years.
That's how it goes sometimes.
And then I swear, I know it's crazy. And then I said, I think she said 17 years. And then they would look at each other and say, "Oh, yeah, that's right." And then when we changed her clothes, uh, she said, "I swear I could see her lips move again." She said, "Oh, that feels better."
Wow. It could almost be, yeah, like she was in and out of her body, because it was like
Uh,
30 minutes. Even though she had popped out, there was still
right.
a connection.
Yep. Yep. That's it.
Wow. That's so cool. Oh my gosh.
Kinda creepy.
It's it makes for a good laugh when you appreciate it. You know what I mean? But right, if it's a new concept, it's like, whoa. um I want to also from Lolo too as well. This is very relevant. My mom visited me in a dream. People are talking about dreams a lot. It's so interconnected. My mom visited me in a dream. It took a while to get through to me. Oh, thank you. She was very tall, wow, oh wow,
Whoa.
7 feet maybe. Gave me a long hug and comforted me. I'd made her a promise she'd visit me in the dream after she passed. I made her promise she'd visit me. Okay, and she came through, but wow, she was 7. She was 7. Maybe it's that big energy, that big loving energy, like I am here.
Awesome. That's beautiful, Loco.
Yeah, that is beautiful. You couldn't miss her, right? She made sure of it.
And you must come see me in my dream. Now, I do see a lot of people say, "Oh, we made this deal. You're going to come to me in butterflies, or you're going to come to me in white feathers, or whatever." And the family will say to me later, "I don't see any of that. I don't get white feathers. I don't get butterflies. I don't get the birds." But they did turn on the faucets off and on, or
It-
something, or something like that. So maybe when they get to the other side, they figured it's something else to do. Maybe they couldn't figure out. I don't know. I don't know how that works.
My goodness, yeah. I know that, for instance, like a medium, herself, she said, okay, mom was going to give me butterflies, but she already happened to have another symbol for butterflies. So then mom
Mm.
started coming to her in an entirely different way. And at first she's like, I thought we had an agreement here,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And just to even think about that for a moment, like that sparks remembrance. There's some of our loved ones that have passed 15 years ago, 20 years ago. And what conversations did you have with them? What did they tell you to look out for? Or what symbols did you have for them 5 years ago that sometimes we've even forgotten because we change and we look for
Hmm.
different things and we have a different type of relationship with them? It's really meant to evolve, I feel. Um, so that's wonderful. However they come. Like, my grandma, she used to send me a lot of pennies, but I don't really see a lot of pennies anymore because the way that I kind of communicate with her has transitioned. But it reminds me, Grandma, please send the pennies again. You know what I mean? Like, that was nice. And it doesn't have to be that way. It just gets the conversation rolling again, right?
Yeah. Well, maybe she's moved up to quarters.
Or dollar bills. Oh my gosh, I love this. Okay, so I was helping out and observing a den, and the medium was talking about, like, your loved one sends you money, like big money. You are finding $50 or $100 in the streets, which is crazy. Can you understand that? And the person's like, yeah, I don't know how it's been happening. It's like, Grandma and Grandpa, don't send me quarters, send me $100 bills. I'm okay with that. But right, I'll look out for the quarters.
Yeah.
The spirit world keeps us on our toes. It's not meant to
Yeah.
always be the same.
Yeah. 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 Just think of the abundance. The spirit world wants us all to have abundance and not to worry. I hear that so often, right? Not to worry about the money. Go for the joy. Go for the joy. Now, they probably have forgotten a little bit about the everyday reality about paying the bill.
Oh my gosh, but I do feel, and believe me, it's more complicated than this because the spiritual perspective is very simple. The human perspective is complicated. So with empathy, we understand the complexity. But I really do believe, and sometimes we're not always perceptive. Sometimes we just can't always catch it, but they're always giving us signals, even when we're at our worst. Go that way, talk to that person. And if we are trusting, taking care of ourselves, and connected, we're going to get a way out of everything and anything, if we keep going. Some things we're perhaps meant to experience, that is up for, to talk about. But beyond that, like, where do I go next? They will lead you where it can get a lot easier from that initial happening. But it's not easy. It's, from the human perspective, it's really not easy.
Yeah, I know. We're on a journey here, aren't we?
We are. It's
Yeah, we
not
gotta
meant to
love it.
be.
That gotta love it. We came because we're strong, all
We
of
came
us.
because we're strong. And I really believe, tell me how you think too. Um, we come to this school to get it wrong. because we're
Yeah,
supposed to learn. If we got it
yeah,
right, we'd have aced the test. We don't need to learn. We already
yeah,
know it.
yeah.
So, it's natural for us to go, what the heck are we doing? I don't know what to do. That's the most natural thing for us to experience,
Mhm. Mhm.
and
Yeah.
but there's always that answer waiting for us. Um, yeah. So, what is your perspective on, why we're here sometimes, or um, what has the spirit world shown you through messages, when you've worked as a medium and when you've helped transition people, of what they just want people to know?
Mm. Yeah. Love. It's all really love is like the bottom line of everything. It's the most healing way to be. It's a high vibration. Love is, I want to just say, love is all there is. Isn't there a song that says that? Uh,
All you need is love.
Yeah,
I'm
something like that.
I'm sure there is. I'm sure there is.
So that really resonates with me and what I hear, and also that the spirit world is so supportive, just like you said, so supportive. And why are we here? Well, everybody wants. That's the $1 million question. Why are we here? And that's probably we could talk days on that from different perspectives. Are we in a hologram? Are we who's leading us? Um,
It's true.
but
I love it.
I think again, it's to share love. I think it's to heal. I think it's to bring light. And now we can't say everybody's here for that reason, but we all do, I believe, have a light to share. And I think we have a choice. This is if we have free will, we have a choice. We can choose, are we going to share our light or are we going to hide our light? Or are we going to maybe go toward the dark? So I believe that we probably initially wanted to come to Earth to share light. And every once in a while we go astray for whatever reason. Maybe we're too sensitive. Maybe the world came in a lot harder than we expected. Maybe we're really from a different universe, or is it universe or a planet or whatever, and so there might be a slightly different reason we're here, but
Like a
I
star
believe we're
seed.
here to help and heal each other, to serve others, to help and heal for spiritual progress. I guess that's really the bottom line, spiritual progress, that's why we're here
I
as a
love that.
unit. I believe we're as a unit, everybody here, we're not like you and I, even though we look separate. You're in California, I'm in Texas, you know. um, uh, what I felt from Mary, Saint Mary, is that we are definitely like Earth, the animals, the people. It's one unit. And now maybe we're here to help heal. I feel like when I say that, I see the light coming into Earth and we're bringing more light. And this light on Earth is going to be spread to the other parts of the universe. And so maybe that's why we're here to bring the light. And so, um, yeah, it's our choice, though. It's a choice. I think when we're on our deathbed and we decide, did we do what we're supposed to do? Think of the light. Did we stay in the light? Then we're going to feel like we came here to serve our purpose. And it doesn't matter whether you chose animal healing versus Reiki for a career. It doesn't matter if you worked at the gas station or the grocery store. It's all about how much light you brought in. You're still on your soul path if you're bringing in light. I
Absolutely.
believe.
I
And
mean, keep going. Yeah. Go.
Y
Yes.
we're on our soul path. Yeah, on our soul path, and so that's why I think we're here, and I believe part of our ascension process as we're in, I mean, we've been in ascension process for who knows how many thousands of years, but everybody's talking about it right now again, and, so I believe that this is a big time. I don't know if it's astrologically or whatever's happening, but this is a big time where we can really shine. Everybody can shine more now. And when we're on our deathbed and just say, were we kind? Did we serve others? Or did we stay in the light? And then I think we've done a good job, you know? And to be at peace with yourself, be kind to yourself. Maybe you didn't get that promotion that you wanted. Maybe you never got to say goodbye to so and so. but still be kind to yourself and forgive yourself for not doing everything perfect. I mean, in your eyes, spirit world always thinks you're perfect.
The spirit world is wonderful, and I love all the things that you said. I really think like we are here to transmute, and everyone's going to transmute in a different way. Everyone has been given a different hand, and everyone is ultimately working together for the same goal. And I love the ascension that you talked about and the way you described it. Absolutely beautiful. Kim, thank you so much for coming on the show. Like, you brought such gorgeous energy, such beautiful top. I'm saying the word beautiful with you. Like, that's the word, because it's just the energy, your light, your face. It's all beautiful. For real, from the heart. And where can people find you if they want to continue to reach out and have a session with you? What's the best
Okay.
place they can find you?
Yeah. Or just look on my website, mediumkim.com.
Kim.com.
Yeah,
And you also
medium.
have
It's not small, it's not large, just medium.
mediumkim.com. I love it. And you also have a wonderful YouTube channel where people watch you live too. And you have offerings. What do you have going on that maybe people can additionally come find you or listen to or learn from you from?
Thank you, Kelly. Yeah, so my YouTube channel is also Medium Kim or Medium Kim, comma Kim Copeland, but Medium Kim is one word on YouTube. And so coming up, starting in a couple weeks, I am going to be teaching a class. It's just about ascension, actually, opening to ascension. And it's not a developmental class. It's not a psychic mediumship development. It's more about just talking about, we're going to talk about dreams. We're going to talk about healing. We're going to talk about manifestation. We're going to talk about the afterlife. So we're going to have different topics. So that's coming up in a couple weeks. I actually haven't even posted it on my website yet, but I'm going to do that later today. And then also coming up in the fall, I'm going to have a retreat. The date is not determined yet. I mean, not me and a couple other people, Susan Lynn and Danny Shea. We're doing a retreat together in Santa Fe, probably in September. We're putting it together now. So that's coming up. That'll go on my website as soon as we get it figured out. And then I think I haven't decided, but I'll probably do some more psychic mediumship classes coming in the next few weeks. I do something every month, actually. Yeah.
So there's going to be a lot of things up, and kind of the things that we talked about today are relevant with what you're bringing to the table and what you frequently do for others. So if you loved what Kim had to share, you can have you can have more of her through her website, through her YouTube channel, or other classes or the retreat she's doing. Please find her. She's wonderful. Thank you so much, Kim, for being with us today. I'm
Thank
going to
you,
say
Kelly.
thank you. I'm going to wish everyone love, luck, light, and a week full of smiles. Thank you, everybody. See you next week.
Blessings. See you next week, Kelly. Thank you for having me. I'm honored. Blessings.